If you're opening an online or brick and mortar store and are wondering if you should hire a mentor, I wanted to share with you an example of one of the retail clients that I've been working with. Hi, my name is Sherry. I am your marketing mentor and so excited to tell you about my client Color Game. Their founder, Erica, came to me a couple months ago and said, "Hey, I'm opening up this new online store. I've got this site built. I'm starting to get merchandise, but I want to figure out how do I market myself in the best way possible, right? With the most strategic way where I spend the least amount of money and the least amount of time, but get the biggest amount of exposure." And so we spent the first month really putting together her overall strategy. And this is common with all of my clients. We take about a month putting together that strategy. And that generally is 4 meetings or so of about 90 minutes each. I've done it where we do it in a full day and it ends up it's a little bit too much. I like having some break in between. So we usually do it over 4 weeks in 4 90-minute meetings. And in those meetings, we did three different things. So the first thing we do is we really focus on rooting. So what is the mission, the vision, the values? Why are you uniquely suited to do this particular business? The second thing we do is really look at the target audience. So who are we talking to? What's important to them? Where are they now? Where do they want to be? And how do we talk about you and your product line in a way that's really interesting for them? During this phase of the strategic development, often we'll also put together what the actual product lines are themselves, right? What are the different offerings. In this case, she already knew what her offerings were, and so we didn't need to do that piece. But we often do with our other clients. We really focused on overall messaging, and then the third part, after we do that rooting, we go into the service of who are we going to talk to. And then in the third part, we really narrowed in on what are the things that we want to do in order to get the biggest amount of traffic to the store as possible. And we always start with what are the few key things that we can do, and then we'll add on more things over time. There are so many choices of what you can do with your marketing. And larger companies can have the opportunity to do all of them because they've got people and lots of money. But often, if you're just starting in your company, or even if you've been around for a few years, your resources are still pretty finite, especially if you're the face of your brand. So, we really wanted to be strategic. So, we decided to start with really, really strong Instagram marketing. So, building the online store. First, connecting that her shop is on Shopify. Again, it's called shopcolorgame.com. It's amazing. This stuff is so cute. So shopcolorgame.com. So we really focused on Instagram. So making sure the Instagram was really, really good, showing all of the products, regularly posting. That was the first key element of our strategy. The second one was she decided to actually open a retail store, which was super, super exciting. So we did some outreach to local press, local people in her community, people who she already knew, asked them a couple things. One is if they'd be willing to be an ambassador for the product line, talk about, maybe a piece that they've bought from her. She's got these great bracelets that are like, team centered, depending on your sports team. So asking some key influencers of people that she knew had some leverage with the local colleges in her area and otherwise, and ask them to wear one of her pieces and to tell people about the opening. So the first part of the strategy was really regular posting on Instagram with links to the shop so people could actually purchase. The second part was really an influencer marketing campaign where we said, who do you know who could help you market these products? How do we get them into their hands, and ask them to create some posts for us? And the third part of that was, let's ask them to come to these opening of the actual store itself. And that just happened last week. So that was super, super exciting. And one of the great things about having that retail location is we were able to actually go in and do a lot of really fun reels. So I personally went to the store. It's in Fort Worth, which is about an hour from Dallas, which is where I live. So went to her store in Fort Worth, and we spent really a half day. We brought in models, and we spent a half day like just taking pictures of the merchandise, doing reels that she could use around the store. And she came out of that day with a whole bank of reels that she could utilize in Instagram. So it was all the raw footage that she could combine together, as well as a bunch of photographs that she's used on her website, as well as again, in reels and so forth on her Instagram account. And so because I'm a photographer and a videographer, that's something that I'm able to do for many of my clients, especially if they're in the Dallas area, is really help them to create that content. So our next step, now that the store is open, we've got a really good Instagram process going. Now that those are sort of behind us, I think the next thing we're going to work on is really diving into that influencer marketing. So finding who are the people who would want to buy the products and how can we reach out to them. We'll probably use Instagram as the main way to do that. And so she sells high end, really cool kind of spirit wear, but that doesn't have like the logos on it. So let's say my favorite team, their colors are yellow and purple. Well, I could go to her store and it's all organized by color. So I could say, ooh, okay, I need some purple things and I need some yellow things, but it's all really high end designer stuff. So it's perfect for, let's say, alumni organizations. And so we identified what are the top 10 universities that we want to work with, and then what are the groups within that university that we could do outreach to on Instagram, tag them in our Instagram. And those would be things like alumni organizations, maybe cheer squads, maybe dance squads, those types of things. So that's going to be the next stage of the evolution of this brand. So how has she been working with me? Well, that first 3 months, we worked together for 90 minutes 4 times a month. So, really, every single week for 3 months. Now we've gone to twice a month, and we'll do that for 3 months. And then we're going to kind of see where we're at after that. We might go to once a month, we might stick with twice a month, and we'll just kind of see where it goes from there. So, I hope this provided a good example of what it might be like to work with a marketing mentor. What are some of the things that, we talk about? How do I help to create that strategy? If this sounds like something that you need in your business, give me a holler and I'd love to work with you. Talk soon.